Welcome from the automobile of your buddy, your pal, your amigo, your compadre, Tom. This is from the Bleachers Sports Show. And we're here to talk about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming from Stamford, Connecticut, and the Performance Center. For this coming Sunday, May the 10th. So as you can imagine, some of it, my guess, if it's from the Performance Center, it's, especially in Stamford, Connecticut, that some of this has been already filmed, is what I would probably tell you. But, it's hard. You appreciate it, or at least I do. You appreciate it for what it is. It's hard. When there's no audience, it's just a different vibe, different feel to it. Right? I mean, on the other side of it, you might say to yourself, well, listen, a lot of these guys probably were on the indies, where they were fighting at times in front of not much many more people than they are now. Whatever the circumstances or however this, it's just different. I don't know the answer to it. I don't know what is right. I don't know what is wrong. It's just a different feel. It truly is a different feel. Nonetheless, you gotta appreciate it for what it's worth. I think it's some form of entertainment. It's really, you could be critical, but try to keep everything in scope. Try to keep everything in perspective, right? On the whole global scope of things of what is going on. So this is the card as of since SmackDown has finished. I don't see anything else that might have been posted to indicate that the card is different. So I will just go with what's online, what's been posted, and if I miss something, that's probably by accident, because I have made sure this is at least what we have as the final card as of now, Saturday, 11:30 in the morning, as I'm making this video. In no particular order, we have Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. It's not the Fiend. It's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt with the sweater, happy-go-lucky. Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend. So, against Braun Strowman. What can you say? This match, to sum it up, in a nutshell, Bray Wyatt is trying to intimidate, trying to remind Braun Strowman that Bray knows the real Braun Strowman. He's been wanting him to put on the old sheep mask, and well, Braun does not want to do that. He says that Bray does not know who Braun is now. He doesn't care for his stupid puppets. Not falling for the scariness, if I could use that word, of the Firefly Funhouse. He will not fall into that trap. And that's the way it's come off on TV, honestly, to me. And it was a big bad Braun, and Bray looks a little bit silly. If I have to pick a winner, I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. Some type of, you have to protect Bray in this. I think they want to protect Bray and the Firefly Funhouse. Some type of fuckery where Braun wins, but Bray gets disqualified. Let's go with that route, and, kind of something like, hey Braun, are you scared of me now? Type of a deal. I don't think this is one match and done. I think this is something that will drag on. And I think this is just the beginning match, the first match of a long feud. So match one, give me Braun Strowman with some, winning by DQ. Match two, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, is this diabolical, slow-speaking guy who's here to save us. Here to save us. We now have the disciple Murphy back with Seth Rollins. He's there to follow and lead, and he believes in what Seth Rollins has to say. And Drew McIntyre, has been getting the better of Seth Rollins for the most part. I think the the backstage there has some legitimate, they've been building Drew McIntyre for quite some time, and I think you're just kind of, you're still yet to see the finished product. I think Seth Rollins chasing for the title is a good thing. Just keep saying, adding layers to the character of Seth Rollins, making him even more annoying, more heelish, and just, I think it helps that Seth Rollins is chasing the title. They put too much work into Drew McIntyre for him to lose this quickly to Seth Rollins. Give me Drew McIntyre retaining the title. Match two. Match three, you have New Day versus Forgotten Sons versus Lucha House Party versus Miz and Morrison. You know, what is this, like the 7-time 8 reign for the New Day already, and you know, various incarnations of who's holding the strap. You know, Miz and Morrison held that tag team title strap for a little bit, and then they lose it to a New Day. I then look at Lucha House Party, who really, they tried to build him up with some legitimacy, have them get a win recently on TV. Kind of just kind of trying to build that case of you know, making it believable. That's fine and dandy, but you know, when you look at it, for the most part, they have not been on TV in forever. You then have the Forgotten Sons. The Forgotten Sons have a story that I could get behind. A lot of people are crapping on the Forgotten Sons. Not me. I like their story. They need time to, I think they need time to develop.
More.
And then at that point, it's between Miz and Morrison and the New Day. You know, I just think, I think Fox and the higher ups of, you know, mainly Fox and, you know, the creative back there in SmackDown, they just love what this team does. They're goofy. They draw attention. If I see any team in the near future that were to take this away from them, you know, I would have told you it would have been the Usos. But you know, with the Usos right now being out of commission because there was just another injury by one of the Usos, I don't see that strap coming off of New Day. You know, so give me New Day match number 3 here. For the championship, we have Bayley versus Tamina. Bayley is going to win this, guys. Tamina, it's, you know, various injuries. Stop, start. You know, as soon as they do something with her, she gets injured. And when she's on TV, she doesn't really get much of a reaction, if any, at all. I'm sorry, I just don't see this being Tamina. I think the real big story that this is leading up to, and this is kind of just like this matchup for Bayley, just almost like for her, just to, you know, for Bayley to be doing something, kind of like, I guess to use an analogy, kind of like it's a rest stop along, you know, along, you know, when you're going on a long trip, just to, you know, pull over, stretch your legs. That's what this is to me, with Tamina. Kind of keep Bayley occupied. I think where this is going towards is Bayley versus Sasha Banks. So I see Bayley winning against Tamina. Next matchup here, you have the women's Money in the Bank. Nia Jax versus Asuka, versus Shayna Baszler versus Lacey versus Carmella versus Dana versus you know, it goes on and on and on and on and on. And by the way, you asked how we're going to get to Sasha versus Bayley. Well, It's the beautiful thing in this, ain't it? That's the beauty in all this. So, where we last left you, Asuka has been the, MVP of since this pandemic has happened. She's basically just told WWE, I'm here, I'm whenever. Whenever you need me, I'm here. She's been the MVP. She's been, I guess, quarantining herself in a hotel. So she's been on every single Raw. Been winning, been lighting it up on fire. So you have Asuka there. You then have Dana Brooks, who unfortunately, if you're a Dana Brooke fan, I think Dana Brooke is just there as filler. Carmella is just there on filler, for filler. Unfortunately, if you're a Carmella fan, I think it's going to lead to some type of a feud. Carmella, Dana, down the road from this, if that gets your interest. Lacey Evans has been in that women's title picture. Shayna Baszler, last we seen of her, was dominated on WrestleMania, made to look goofy after she come in there biting off heads like Ozzy Osbourne eating a bat, blood everywhere. And come WrestleMania, she looks like a goofball. That being said, I think since WrestleMania, it's safe to say that Shayna has been unstoppable. You could, and I see the build for Shayna Baszler. Listen, Shayna Baszler, she's still the best in what she does. Kind of was lax a little bit. Kind of fell asleep at the wheel for a couple of seconds, and listen, it cost her in a WrestleMania match. Okay, we could go that way. Cost her, but now she went through everyone again. All of the women's division to prove that, she is for real. She is for real. The person that stands in her way, though, is Nia Jax. Who's equally as intimidating. It's going to be a confrontation. It's going to be a showdown between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I do think at the end of the day, it's going to be Shayna Baszler that gets one over on Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler goes on and she has her mindset on Becky Lynch. Last match, Styles versus Aleister Black versus Mysterio versus Daniel Bryan versus Otis versus Baron Corbin. King Corbin, imagine King Corbin being Money in the Bank again. I'm trying to think of it logically. A king is a king. Why would he need a briefcase if he's already a king in the storyline? Royalty deserves a shot, right? And then I have Daniel Bryan, who's been multiple champion before. He really doesn't need the briefcase. AJ Styles, multiple former champion. Does he need it? I don't think so. I really don't. The one guy that it makes sense to for me is Aleister Black. Aleister Black has been dominating everyone that has been in his path. Most recently, of note, Bobby Lashley. He's been a dominant man. He's been waiting for people to knock at his door, and no one has been knocking. Well, with a briefcase now, Aleister Black will continue to be knocking, and just ready to cash it in at any point. Now, I think if Aleister Black wins, you still need to kind of keep on building on his character. That way he does connect with the fans a little bit more. Because there's really no connection. I think you're gonna drag this out for a longer period of time with Aleister Black. Maybe even go for another almost close to a year. Continue that. But I think it will be Aleister Black that wins Money in the Bank. So those are my predictions, guys. I hope all is well. Enjoy Money in the Bank. Let's hope that we're pleasantly surprised with this pay-per-view. I know we probably didn't expect much with WrestleMania, but I think we gotta admit that WrestleMania did deliver. I hope all is well, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.